Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long wait, but we all know why you're here. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Epsilon. One of these teams is out. No questions after that. There's no fishy business. There's nothing that I know of that can be done. One of these teams is going to go out and not even get to the qualifier. Not even get a chance, because they are currently 0-2. Joining me will be Hugo. Now, you made a bold prediction at the beginning, last time we casted an IP, during the game. Are you sticking with it?
Yeah, my prediction for those who weren't there was NiP will not make the minor, and I got a lot of hate for that. I gotta say, people weren't appreciative, but so far I am correct. And it looks like, well, we're going to be facing the music very shortly, but we're into the pistol, ladies and gentlemen. Best of one, single elimination. Who is going to be going home with nothing today, with no chance of qualifying for the minor, and therefore the major. Draken opening things up on the A site. It's Forest as well to strike. Quick taps from Freiburg. He lands two, going in for a third as well, but it's all going to be on Freddy, who trades, and Forest coming in from above. This should be the pistol round for NiP. They will pick up the first with 3 players surviving as well, so good stuff there. Nice taps by Freiburg. Vintage indeed.
Yeah, going into this though, it has to be said, Epsilon are not in good form at the moment. They're not in a position where they really should be getting out of this game with a win. They've got a couple of players sort of standing in for them at the moment, and they've lost the AWP to their opposing team, so if it does go the other way, then this will be a real kick in the teeth, almost a revenge sort of strike versus the Ninjas. They are going to force into this round on the T side. Decent buy coming up for the CTs, but it's still definitely possible with those trusty pistols in play. But Freiburg going to start things off. Tagged very low. Has to be careful of the players pushing onto him. Nobody currently looking towards that Ivy position, in fact. The rest of the team sort of leaving it idle, and that means Barber can go sneaky round the corner, catches Freiburg off. That's actually a rifle into his hands as well.
Forest catching the CT push. He knows they're there now. That's got to be a bit of a thorn in the side of NiP. They know they can get flanked, but Draken rotating on in with the pistol takes down Barbar. 3 more left for Epsilon. 2 of them need to come out of this pop top, but as the bomb backs off towards T-spawn, I can only imagine a late round B play will be coming in. These players feed their way out of the drop. It seems like B ramp is going to be the choice for the time being, but still the bomb, far from committed. Cadian still holding on to A main. I'm really questioning this one. Actually, they're going to reconsider, dropping back down the ladder, going out towards the A site once again. There are 3 players in position here. Exist quick on the rotations. He is only in the connector. This is going to be perfect for NiP. The setup should be good enough to hold off the remaining Epsilon players, and they will start to make their way out. No utility, so they have to take the aim battles here. Cadian looking for the shot with the scout. Will be walking towards Ivy. Not going to spot the first player. They haven't seen anything just yet. Finally going to make contact. No kills coming in. Finally, Forest strikes. There's the first. Adder goes down. The bomb should be planted, but Exist denying it, and Cadian even dropped 2. Ninjas in Pajamas. They receive a lot of damage, but they pick it up with only 1 death.
Yeah, good round from them as well, converting into the second, denying the bomb plant. And, well, that's already a great start for them. Over on that CT side, they're going to try and build up as much cash as possible. Draken saving for that AWP, not risking anything of the sort in this round, knowing that, of course, if they keep every single player alive, he doesn't want to have to just drop and waste a gun. And on the other side of things, doesn't really want to risk dropping a gun that he would have to buy anyway. Bomb is going to be alone over towards the safe side. This is a bait and switch at the moment. They've got all 4 players. It's almost like that classic strategy of I take bomb to B, except in this circumstance it is going to be over towards A. The rest of the team just going to be trying to push in, pulling that rotation over, and in fact, it may just be working. Freiburg is still waiting at the moment. He is going to hear Cadian running though, and he has to just run in, deny that plant, and there will be nothing done really. 1 player dropped will be Forest, and I don't think they're going to retrieve his rifle, which is something at least making things a bit more costly for this CT side. And now we will see the buy. Round number 4. Not a whole lot of utility. They don't actually have any Molotovs to play with, but they've got smokes on every single player. And of course, the investment of that AWP will now come in for Draken.
And still a couple of SMGs left on NiP, almost a bonus round in some sense. UMPs on Get Right and Exist. We've been seeing Get Right pick up that P90 quite a lot previously today, but not sure if that will continue. It's Epsilon to set up outside of B once again. Rez pushing in towards heaven. The rest of them already about to filter down ramp and only exist in get right to hold this off. The two SMGs of the team, they've got to do some work as the push comes flowing on through. Exists close, doesn't get a thing done. Barbar takes it down. Get right again, similar story for him. Only a single kill before the trade is found by Barbar, and Freiburg and Draken left on the rotation. Doesn't seem doable, but Freiburg does at least pull one kill back. That being said, it's still a 3-on-2, although Draken, he's making work happen. Takes down Rez, and now the retake looking doable.
They're both low on HP, though, so he needs to be doing the work, finding the pick. Flash going to be thrown out by both sides. T-side actually catching Freiburg. He is still pushing forward, only 7 HP. Money not going to be that great over on the opposing side, so they have to be careful. Barbar catches Freiburg out, and now I think it has to be the save coming in from Draken. Just going to run away, make sure he has that AWP for the next round. Should be able to drop a rifle as well. So with this save, they will actually be able to get a buy. It's Forrest, the only one with a low economy at this point in time, so not over yet for Epsilon. They need to get that next round just to make sure that they break the economy of the CT side, but for now at least NiP will still be able to continue with a buy.
Yeah, it's actually very, very good buy for that as well. You know, no SMGs in play. The bonus round doesn't work out, but at least they can get the potential of having a reset here. With no one having an AWP on the side of Epsilon, we're going to see Draken be a lot more deadly than usual. Full AKs across the board here for this T side. And again, some aggression. This time from Draken, pushed up on the B ramp, takes down Rez. Nice first pick. Epsilon fall a man short and lose a lot of utility in the process. And Draken, even post up for more, will tag down Cadian. He moves on back. So far, NiP is sitting in a good spot. The issue is, obviously, Epsilon still have 4 players crowded outside of B, so could easily just drop straight down through this ramp and put a lot of pressure. But Draken actually realizes that, backs off to the connector, holds from a far more passive and long-range angle, but exists doing the same, meaning that if Epsilon charge B, it will just be a straight-up retake play for NiP. They won't lose any players down on the site until the bomb is down.
B-side, I think like they may want to switch things back up as Freddy will go back and start clearing angles over towards this A site. Make sure there's nobody pushing in from behind. I think they tried to bait out some sound cues to give away the fact that they've gone pop, but at the moment, doesn't seem like the CT side are budging at all, and they're still just holding. In a way, just hoping that NiP will make some sort of mistake, but there's no real reason for them to go aggressive at all. They're going to play this passively, wait for the T's to run down that clock, and just give the advantage further over to the Ninjas. With only 30 seconds left on the clock, we know that Epsilon will have to make their move onto the site soon. And in the last few seconds, it seems like they're going to go back towards this B site and look to challenge onto Draken and exist.
Here we go. Time is low. They need to hurry up with this push. Draken still holding the close angle, and he's in a great spot to get a pick and take the man advantage one step further. Freddy Vito and Atta opening things up. Forrest will trade onto Cadian, and Draken's still looking for this pick. Hasn't landed a thing since the start of the round, and he won't be gifted a thing either. Oh! Freiburg! A double nade comes in out of nowhere, and he'll follow up with a kill onto Freddy B as well. It's Ninjas in pajamas to pick up a round out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, big stuff from them. Get right. Had that flank ready, but it was Freiburg with the double nade coming in. Big round coming out from the Ninjas as well, because they're going to reset this economy over on the T side. And they look a little bit skeptical with what buy they're actually going to go for here. They've decided late that they are going to force things up. But it means that in terms of map control, the CT side have been able to gain positional advantage at least early into these rounds. Any of the timings? I was going to say time cues, and then I realized it doesn't make sense. So I switched to timings, but said it weird. Either way, P90 as well in play for Get Right. Something that did do a little bit of damage when they played against iGame, but not something that was too effective. Obviously, they lost that game. They've lost both games today. This is such a crucial matchup for them to be playing in. The peak again will come out into upper. This time, Draken not actually having his AWP. Nobody was able to save that in the previous round, so he's looking to make a bit of money back. Minute left on the clock again. It seems like the T's haven't really been able to take any map control whatsoever. CT side just going to wait patiently. Indeed.
Lack of AWP could be a bit of an issue here, but they are playing close. Draken using that SMG just on the site, so at least playing to its advantages. As Epsilon can't afford to leave it too late. They almost ran out of time in the previous round, and that late round plant allowed Freiburg to get a double nade kill, so they can't afford to do a similar thing coming into this one. As you can see, 30 seconds remain. They need to make this push happen. Atta focusing towards the drop. Still hasn't committed anywhere, but smokes are going to be set up towards EA site. That being said, it's not fully commitment. Finally, they're going to make their way down as smokes rain on in. It's Rez to open things up. Again, right, going to fall, and the smokes will just go all over the site, allowing the safe plant. Rez finds himself the second with that SMG, and Cadian will finally make his way out of main to join his teammates as the Molotov dissipates. Atta following up, and right now, Epsilon are doing really good damage. Only Draken to pick up a kill in return as he tries to push back into the site. It seems like it's already a done deal. No need for Epsilon to peek, and Draken's got a huge task ahead of him. It does not look doable.
Doesn't have a kit, but we'll be able to find one onto Atta at least. Retrieves the AK as well. Neither of the players with particularly good weaponry on the opposing side. Going to try and bait them out of position. Has found a kit in the meantime as well. And Cadian looking tempted, but he can spot the bomb without actually facing into Draken. And this is just going to make things very, very difficult for him at this point. Cadian probably more and more tempted to go for the peak, but it's not going to matter at this point. Draken does not have time, and Barber and Cadian looking to try and finish him off. Although, actually, Draken looking like he will be able to get out of this site. Barber going to go chasing, but will die to the bomb, and Draken just survives with 1 HP. So, although the round goes to Epsilon, I expect a force to come in from NiP. They've lost every single player. This should be absolutely perfect for them to just break them straight back.
You would imagine so. With the up-down way that this game's been going so far, neither team wrapping together more than one round in the last 3. A force buy does make a lot of sense, and they will go for 3 rifles, 1 European pistol on Freiburg, whereas Epsilon, they're just charging out to A. Both Rez and Freddy B making their entrance very, very quickly. This is good. A bit of a boost coming out as well. This is not very common. Spotting over the smoke, Freiburg will not expect that, and Rez decapitating him straight off the bat. Now Epsilon had the man advantage. They can kind of slow down. No need to continue this rush. Just hold on, get their positions, wait for NiP to start adjusting those rotations and maybe catch them out as they move back in towards A, but they still continue the push. Draken in heaven, get right on the site. And Draken, he's doing more work, finds himself the second. Rez is going to trade things back though as Draken falls. And now get right on the site, last alive to defend. This is going to get dropped. This is all going to be a retake here for NiP.
Yeah, now, well, they're the ones with economy troubles. They had the chance in this round to keep that economy at bay. And at the moment, it seems like a few of the players just aren't really on the board. Again, they've got 3. They've got Draken, Forest, and Freiburg, but just not in the right situations. And now Epsilon, they're going to be looking to make themselves some money. 2 MAC-10s in play. Atta and Cadian. We know that Cadian, from what we've seen so far today, has been the one picking up that AWP. The Dane in amongst all of these Swedes. And, well, you never know. Maybe that could be the difference. Danish CS has been some kind of a drug as of recently, whereas the Swedish Counter-Strike seems to have fallen back. 2 of them in the elimination match. So I think that pretty much says it all. Going to be a quick push onto this B site, however. MAC-10 is going to be leading the charge. Reg looking for that first kill. And it's going to be Atta, in fact, along with Barber. And every single player will be cleaned up. Nothing really invested in this round, of course, for NiP. So Forest will make a little bit of money. An extra 300, in fact, with that pistol. And now they're looking to buy in. Draken straight in with the glass cannon AWP.
Whether they keep the MAC-10 in play is going to be interesting. I think at this point you should upgrade it, especially on an AWP-based map like Train, where you really need that AWP to get yourself that first pick. But Cadian's going to stick with the MAC-10. A dangerous route to take, considering he has a lot of money, but it could work out against some of the head armorless players and the armorless Draken. That being said, it's a big risk-reward play. Nets him a lot of money if he wins, but could be the downfall, really, of Epsilon into this round. However, they've already had some good damage so far on this T side, 4-4. Considering this is a CT map, Epsilon have definitely made their stance early on, but looking to see if they can continue it. The smoke A take is looking probable here, and 2 players forcing their way down either. It's only Freiburg on the defense, tagged very heavily. Nade going to be set up as well, but doesn't connect as these players burst out. Get right in heaven, has to spray, but only gets 1 before he falls. Forest, however, picking up the pieces. It's going to be trades left, right, and centre as Barber, Atta, and Freddy B get themselves on the board once again. Draken and Exist forced out of the site here by the nade usage from the T side, and Exist trying to get back in, trying to stop these guys from planting the bomb. Will take down Freddy. This is now doable for Ninjas in Pyjamas, but Epsilon do have the bomb down.
No armor for Draken. Low HP for Atta. This round really could go either way. They don't have a kit, so they've got to get their running shoes on. Exist pushing back in. We'll get one. It's all onto Barber. He's in the heavens. He's been spotted out, and Exist gets both. Wins the round for his team. Triple kill on that retake. And definitely going to be saving them in that one. 5-4. Defuse will be coming in for the Ninjas. But the buy is likely to come straight back at them from Epsilon. The bomb plant plus the loss bonus will be enough. Now we should even see the AWP as well.
This is where it gets scary for NiP, because, as you say, the AWP can likely come in. Epsilon not having any issues with buying. This is where the reset comes down. If Epsilon win this round, NiP have $1,400 on the loss bonus, plus no weaponry saved really to work with. They are going to have a real issue. So pressure's really on for Epsilon to actually close out this round, to pick it up and to get themselves a great advantage running into this T side, and they will switch up the pace. A bit of a fast play once again. They have the control towards drop. Players in Pop Dog, 3 of them in fact, trying to boost over the top of the smoke. No one in Ivy. Freiberg, he's left on his lonesome now, down towards the CT spawn as Epsilon start to burst out. They are going to take the fights, but Exist benefits from their first. Get right as well, but it's the trades going in favour of Epsilon. Somehow, as Draken pulls it back in, runs into the site, does take down Freddy, and he looks for the last and hits it. It's going to be Draken picking up 2 kills, taking the clutch, and keeping Ninjas in Pyjamas economy alive.
These rounds have been so very close. These A-takes have just come down to aim battles, and in that case it looked like Epsilon to come out on top, but the quick reactions of Draken were enough to keep them pushing forward, and they will get themselves a 6th, but because the economy's so low on the other side, Epsilon are not willing to give this one up just yet. They're going to buy back in. It will beat Freddy and Atta, and actually Freddy's just going to go straight out onto the site. So are the rest of the team by the looks of things. A little bit of a delayed push from Cadian, possibly hoping to flank in later on, but instead he's losing all his teammates in the meantime. It seems like this has just been a completely messed up round by Epsilon. Timing's not working out at all, hitting the site one by one, and NiP will get a flawless round at last and keep every player alive.
So important for the economy. The reason Epsilon forced up there is they knew NiP had a bad economy just due to getting 4 kills in the previous round. So knowing that if they won that one, it would again be essentially another hard reset. But NiP keep it together, keep it in shape, take 2 in a row. Now Epsilon, as the loss bonus begins to culminate, they do have a little more invested into this round. Full nades. They can go for the smoke take once again towards A. Unlikely it's going to be a B play with 5 smokes. It just seems unnecessary to have that many smokes in B. All you need is a couple. So can only assume this is some kind of A play, maybe even a B fake at the beginning of it. Who knows? But right now, NiP, I mean, surprisingly to say, they have been doing pretty terribly so far today. They're actually leading this one quite significantly. Considering this should be 8-4 afterwards, they're definitely in the driving seat, but we are early days of this half. Epsilon still have a couple more to make their mark.
Yeah, they can still win the half. Likelihood is slim considering what they have invested in this round at the moment. They have looked a bit disjointed. It's been the more basic strats that have been working for them, just these A hits. Something that has been the case for Epsilon in the past. They've been a very sort of free style of team going for the, yeah, like I said, just sort of basic fundamentals of Counter-Strike. Decent players across the board, and that's normally been the case. Like when they have had people leaving, players being bought out, they have just picked themselves up and continued. But I think Draken definitely been the biggest hit that they've taken so far. Still, second on the board for his team, in fact. Only Forest leads the way above him. We are going to see another smoke take, attempting to get the bomb down in this round. It has been a 3 loss bonus building up, so not bad amounts of money coming in the next round, but they haven't invested too much. It's all about doing a bit of damage, getting the bomb down, and so far, it's not going too well.
No, Draken and Freiberg both picking up a kill each. Bomb does get planted. That's all they really wanted, but anything extra would be great considering they did invest about $800 into this round. So that bomb really doesn't benefit them in any way. It just kind of equals out the cash that they did spend. No damage again. NiP keep 5 players alive 2 rounds in a row. So that's actually quite surprising. Lots of money now here for the CT side. They're going to be looking good for the time being, but Epsilon again back on the buy. Or potential, but not with armor. As you can see, KD has got too little. We'll just be sticking with the rifle. And yeah, I mean, this is really one of the make or breaks. If Epsilon pick this one up, it can start to look a fairly decent half, maybe a 6-7 rounds if NiP pick it up. On the flip side, Epsilon, I don't know, 4 rounds is fine for the T side, but they'd definitely be hoping for more considering how weak NiP has been today in their matches. But let's see how this buy round goes, because this is going to decide the fate of the next few, I can most assure you.
Yeah, and it's going to be this quick A-take. Out goes Atta. Finds one, but it's quickly traded back by Forest. Utility used, but Freiberg's doing more. again, it's just going back into these 3 versus 3s. Again, one more. All the way across, down to just 2. But it's either side, and this flank from Exist could be absolutely perfect. We know that Cadian likes to go over towards this electric box. Eventually, gets himself the kill, and it's all on to Freddy. 1 versus 2. Bomb is down. Knows where one of the players is. May be able to isolate Exist. Doesn't quite manage to connect the shots, but spots Forest, who gets him down as well. It will be another round on the board for the Ninjas. The loss bonus will be enough, however. The Epsilon will get themselves a bye again. Especially with that bomb plant as well. It's still 9-4. And I think the difference, definitely this time at least, is that NiP, when they were managing to win rounds against iGame, they were just getting broken. We were seeing them having sort of, okay, a round, and then a pistol round, then a buy round, then a pistol round, and it was always just breakbacks. This is the first time, probably today, we've actually seen them string a few rounds together, get some money on the board, have utility to play with. The other thing as well is the way that Epsilon are actually facing against them. They're just taking Angels. They're not doing anything too advanced. They're just trying to out-aim ninjas in pajamas. Wow, I'm stuttering a lot in this one. And, that's not something that most teams will attempt to do. Nowadays, I don't think it's as difficult as in the past. In the past, you never would have done that versus NiP. You'd have to be nuts. But in the games we saw today, it hasn't been too much of a problem. But it seems in this one, at least, it's not working out for Epsilon. They are going to have a tactical pause. They're going to take a little bit of time. They're going to come back in with another buy.
Yeah, I've never seen such a perfect trade game map. It seems like everyone's just trading perfectly here on either side. Every time Epsilon push out onto the site, we see, you know, them get the entries, NiP trade instantly, and back and forth, and it's always these 2v2s. Either way, we're going to see aggression again. Draken's already tried before they expect it. Apparently not. Rez goes down. Draken going to open things up. Barbar looking to refrag on the other side of the map does do so as Freiburg gets dropped in the Ivy area. With 3 players now there for Epsilon, they can make their way deep in. Only one to defend, that's Forest, and with the lack of control now towards the A site, meaning, you know, 1 player is dead, they're going to have a far easier time taking this side of the map.
Forest trying to deny them this part of the map. The smoke leaves him in a spot where he does have to back away. They're actually going to go push and get around to be able to find one. Is brought back by Barber. I think the big player in this move is actually going to be Atta, though, coming in from behind. Hasn't quite spotted out Draken as of yet. Smoke does give away his position, and Draken's still on this site, just going to turn around, but he's having to switch backwards and forwards, and that will be the isolation. Atta finds the kill. Now Exist. It's not this 2 versus 3 like we saw him pull off before. It's him alone.
Just trying to bait out a shot on the ladder to see if anyone down is already in Pop Dog. Atta holding the angle. Doesn't want to give away a free kill. And Exist takes it. Doesn't matter though. That's 95 damage for 1 frag. He should be done by this point. They only need to land a singular bullet to finish him off. He's going to use all of his utility. His best shot trying to get out into the site. Smoke goes down. Flashes to follow. He's just waiting for Epsilon to peek. A flank player to come back around. But they're playing it far more passive. Just holding on from the sites. Cadian spotting, does get shot. That's Exist, sorry, taking that Barbar at range. And Cadian,
that was an accident.
Yeah, I don't think he even meant for that kill in CT. It's insane.
Came a little bit close as well. He hits a shot onto the dome of Cadian. He actually manages to win that round. Although, well, maybe he did transfer. Looking back at it, maybe that was intentional. I didn't even spot the player at the back, but clearly Exist is just on another level. Either way, 9-5. 5 will be back for both teams. Epsilon finally get around on the board, and if they can get to 6, I wouldn't say this is a bad half at all. Somewhat standard. And with a pistol behind them, who knows what they can do on their CT side.
Seems like they just want to burst out completely, just floor their way onto the site at 100 miles an hour. It Exists playing close. Nothing for him. Only a bit of tag damage as Atta takes him down. The AWP of Draken forced back as well, and Barbar's already on the flank. Takes him down from the back. A 5v3 ensues just straight off the back of the round. And Freddy B, he's on the other side of the map, going to start to rotate on in. But still, utility is plentiful for Epsilon. They can throw all that out as Freiburg entries back in with 2 more. Barbar trades again from this back train, and it leaves it all onto Forest. The flank's still going to be making its way in the form of Freddy B, and Forest, he looks lost alone. Although so does Freddy, not even knowing where that last player was. He gets dropped, and now Forest has 2 more to find. Still, could do this, but no, Barbar takes him down. It's going to be the round for Epsilon. 6-9, a very equal scoreline considering the matchup we do have here and the way NiP have been playing today. So I'm actually okay with that one. Neither team, you know, impress me too much, but I like the way this is going.
Yeah, it's definitely open for either side to pull this matchup back. I'm a big fan of that Molotov as well, used over towards the connector. Now, you see that quite a bit in pistol rounds now as well. Rather than having it saved for the after plant, you use it to enable you to take over the whole of the B site, and it was so valuable because it meant that Barber was just able to get in from behind. They had a full flank as well coming around, and although all of that stuff was very important, the 2 entries as well, both players on the site unable to get anything done, just meant that it was always going to be a 3 versus 5. The rotation was never going to be there quite quick enough, and Epsilon get their 6th, and those last 2 rounds really do make a difference to the game. Pistol as well, if Epsilon manage to achieve, they can bring themselves back to a 9-9 if they can convert the couple of rounds as well. So, definitely not over. But it's just the pressure of this game, it has to be said. This is another attempt, more so from NiP, because I feel like most people expect, for starters, expect a lot more from NiP, but also we know that Epsilon have a couple of players that are sort of just standing in or being tested. Like, Cadian is definitely a stand-in for this. Atta, I think, like, he's sort of on trial. There's been quite a few players that they always seem to put on trial. Whether there's ever going to be him actually joining the roster, who knows? But it's just one of those spots where we don't expect a whole lot from Epsilon going into this qualifier, whereas NiP not even getting to the qualifier, or not even getting to the minor, would be mad.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Even if they win this match, they still have to win the rest of their matches as well. It's not just an open door with one map qualifying. This is an elimination match, not a decider match, which is a crazy thing. But let's see how they can do. Going into the second pistol, we got aggression from Cadian, maybe a bit unjustified as Forrest takes him down early on. It's Exist to look for more, and he does do so, pulling down into the drop down, taking down Freddy, and these players are just going to converge out onto the site. The empty site, may be said, as Barbar alone on the site, going to get dropped by Forrest's USP, and this just seems like a full-on A-take with no deaths for NiP. Not a single one has fallen. Rez, he's the only one to try and get this damage done. Seeing like he may get away with one, but I can't expect too much more.
Oh, gets a second. 3 players remain. I feel like this has to be too much. He does have a kit, so it buys him a little bit of extra time. As a smoke as well, could attempt to be a little bit cheeky, but there's just so much for him to do. Looking back in, he should be spotted by Forrest as well, and that will be the round on the board for now. Expecting a force of sorts coming out from the CT side. But that round is going to be a big deal, because if they can convert the next 2, that's a 12-6 start going into the T side for the Ninjas in Pajamas. And from then on out, that's where it becomes very, very difficult for Epsilon. They aren't actually going to invest too much into this. They're going to wait to see what they can get in their buy in a couple of rounds' time. Still going to go with some Deagles, so deadly as ever. UMPs and AKs for the Ninjas in Pajamas. And, well, never mind. Get Right just gets destroyed. Rez peeks out. The Eagle to the dome. Already take the man advantage.
Still a long way to go, though, with the lack of armor for Epsilon. Aim punch will be a real issue, especially against these SMGs, but now NiP are going to burst into this A site. Freddy tagged in the connect Exist. Looking for the first entry here of the round for this T side as they try and make their way deep. Freddy, still kicking and alive, does fall down eventually to Draken, and now they're trying to get something off, but the Eagle succeeds. Takes one, Draken's been dropped, and Exist and Forrest will pull it back, taking a frag each. There's 2 remain here for the CT side. This should be NiP's round. Even so, there's some good damage being done. Barbar, Rez, what's happening? They take a kill each. Now it's suddenly getting scary. It's all on Freiburg. He rotates to the B site. Bomb plant going to be coming in as well, and Epsilon trying to retake with 2 rifles, no armor, no utility other than a flashbang, and no kit.
Freiburg's going to be holding the rotation. Rez flashing out, but Freiburg will now be aware that there's a player around. He's going to take the fight. Smart decision. Isolates the 1 versus 1. Leaves it onto Barber. The bomb not planted for the spot he's taken. Just going to have to look for that one tap. Try and remove Freiburg from the situation. Both players now with rifles, but the time now ticking away, and Freiburg just looks to bait out his opponent. This is incredibly smart. Not give him a single opportunity, not risk the fight, and make sure that there is no way he's winning this round. Every single player will fall for NiP. But they will win the round at least. It's not the way that they would have wanted to win it. That was supposed to be a cleanup. And now, Hugo, I have to ask you, do you think they force on this?
No. They've tried this time and time again on the previous half. It didn't have any success in the previous forces. NiP, yes, they're going to have a fairly weak buy after losing all the players, but they've still got 3 rifles. That's good enough to get the job done. And you can see they're focusing on the rifles as well, over utility. They know that Epsilon are going to force into this one. So as a result, we've got 3 AKs, 2 of which with no utility, just to take the aim battles up against, you know, SMGs and pistols, which Epsilon are showing. So NiP reading the situation well, because they know exactly what's coming through. Rez, bit of aggression, get ready in the way. He's going to take the fight, gets away with it. Another pick going the way of Epsilon at the beginning of the round. The issue is this time, they have a lot more to work with than the previous one.
Calculated risk. Possibility. Drop NiP down to an eco earlier in the game. I'm somewhat behind it. I think this time it was a reasonable idea just based off what was actually lost on the other side. Forcing them to invest everything that they had. Cadian going to go peeking. Boost does a little bit of damage, but doesn't manage to remove him from the map completely. 55 seconds on the clock. The utility starting to dwindle, in fact, on both sides. So CT's not going to be having too much to stop the T's, but at the same time, the T's don't have too much to actually get through this Ivy point. It's just going to be down to aim or maybe mistake. Cadian's still just using the flashbangs. They have to buy them more and more time. We're getting down to the 35-second mark, and the T's really don't have too much control whatsoever. They're just going to go blasting out main, but they do have Forest at least, and they do have the frags. Straight back into a 3 versus 2. Rez and Freddy over on the B site, out of the action, trying to rotate back in as quickly as possible, but Draken is there to hold them in. This time, it doesn't look like the force is going to work out, and Rez is going to have to take this versus 3 players, and it's not happening. Freiberg, big round for him. 3 kills coming in, and 12-6 in favor of the terrorists.
And this is the issue. They take double the scoreline of the opposition, and now Epsilon are going to an eco. We have pistols out here for the CT side, nothing more. This is looking like a closeout, to be honest. There's no way NiP can surely take 2 pistol rounds and still lose the game. They are dominating Epsilon, which is something that we're, I mean, rare to saying today. NiP have had their struggles in the first 2 matches, but at least where it counts, they are stepping up. Now, Mac 10 on Get Right, rest of them on the rifles, and have some aggression from Epsilon, obviously, because they're on pistols. May as well go for something a bit, you know, spicy, throw it in the mix, just go for something crazy. And Draken, he does take that first kill into the A site. These entries should be going the way of the T side. Last man standing towards A is stuck in the Ivy area. And NiP, they have full control. Bombs down, they're holding the rotations. 2 players and connected, they're going to be aware of this one. They know exactly what's going on.
Tough position to even try and get back into. Get Right, looking to farm up a bit more cash for himself. 2 kills already. Exist will finish off 1 more, and Cadian, the last man left alive, just hoping he can get himself a rifle of sorts. Still, the Mac 10 is the one that looks to be hunting. Get Right, just running around. Speed of sound. Cadian. Shouldn't be anything for him to find in this sort of situation. All the players running out, every single player surviving, and I think he'll even go down to the bomb. Not too much of a problem, of course. They will be buying into the next round. He's going to have his AWP, something we haven't yet seen on the CT side. But they really have to turn things around now. Epsilon, just 3 rounds from going out of the competition. NiP, well, they'll still have 2 more matches to win if they are going to get through this one. But at least if they get the first on the board, it becomes possible.
Here's the final chance. Reps onto the fair, NiP fast onto A, Get Right. How does he get away with that? The Mac 10 just chasing down Atta as the rotations come in here for the CT side. Epsilon need to get back into the site soon, and Rez will do so. Takes down Get Right, removes the next player. Fiber caught in the open by Freddy B. So far, so for good for Epsilon, but it's not over. Exist is still alive with full health. And wrapping that background behind Freddy, I don't think he expects it. He's going to get the drop on him, takes him down. Now it's a 2-on-2, and while Forrest is tagged up, he's still lethal with that AK-47. Epsilon still in for a fighting chance, though.
A lot of time on the clock, at least for the terrorists to play with. They don't have to run and get that bomb down. Nade in. Doesn't quite finish off Forrest. Be alive. 8 HP. Still sat in this corner. The bomb on the floor. Range still going to benefit that AWP hugely. Actually smoking off the bomb. Not sure about that one. Giving them a bit more of a chance to actually retrieve it. I think he may have actually spotted it as he threw the smoke down. So Cadian probably not overly happy with the decision he's just made. And I think Exist should realize that this is the chance for him to actually make a move. 30 seconds left on the clock, however, and they are going to have to move soon at least. Forest looking for this peak, but Rez is just waiting around this corner. Ready, but he actually turns around. Gonna get there in the end. Exist now, last one. 15 seconds on the clock. He has to find a pick. He's got himself the bomb plant, but if he just goes for it now, it'll be too difficult. But there goes Cadian. It's all down to the 1 versus 1. Exist in a position to try and clutch this out again. Rez is going to be trying to Molotov him out of spot, and that will actually get him. He's just going to sit behind it. He's planted for himself. As long as he doesn't hit anybody on the defuse, he doesn't have to push. Here's the jump down to 13 HP, but loses it. Rez will take his head clean off, and Epsilon will survive just by the skin of their teeth.
Questionable by Cadian. I don't know about that one. Bit of a weird walkout into the middle of the site with the AWP. Thank God Red clutched it out, because that was a position they never should have lost. 2v1 with 15 seconds. At least it is closed for Epsilon. But again, more chances for NiP to get this reset, more chances for them to crush the CT economy. And with 4 players going down from the previous round for Epsilon, they've got no money to fall back on. This is their fall buy. This is their last fall buy if they lose. So a lot of pressure coming onto these CT Swedes. As we do see, Cadian will open things up. That's the first one Ivy. Takes down Exist, but look at the refrag. Get right, drops Rez, and he just runs out of the B. Get right walked into an open B site. He can even call for a rotation right now, because he just pushed all the way up. And you can instantly see the bomb is going to drop on back. Forest moving that back in towards the T spawn, trying to get into a position that can favour them. And that will be the B site with Get Right pushed up at Barbar. Oh, the timing. Going to spot Draken. Needs to move away, but Draken is going to be there on the other side of the wall. Very close. Still, no one, I think, realised that Get Right's push, but oh no! Atta! He rotates in through CT. Get Right's holding the wrong angle, and Atta just walks in and drops him. They at least know the B site's open now, so Ninjas in Pyjamas will be running on in, but Epsilon are fully aware and still have this man advantage.
They're going to do a lot of damage, take down Forest as well. This round has gone from being in a perfect position from that one pick, and now down to a horrible one, but Draken's still going to be able to bring things back a little bit closer. There is a flank coming in from this CT side. I don't think Freiburg knows that somebody's actually coming. It's not going to matter, as Atta's already found one more. It's all onto Draken. There is a player on the flank that I don't think he knows about. Needs to find this kill onto Cadian. At the moment, it doesn't seem to be going their way, but the CT side don't actually have a kit. They've got to get this kill quickly. We'll do it just about have that defuse. Seemed like they were leaving it a little bit too close. But actually, I think they find a kit when they get in there anyway. So not too much of a problem. It was on the bomb site. And make it look easy in the end because Draken was so low. I feel like there were so many moments in that where if NiP just faced in the right direction, they could have had that quite easily.
That's the nature of timing in CS though, but despite NiP not picking up the round, they do a lot of damage. Epsilon's money still kept fairly low in the backburn. They've got, obviously, this buy-up, but if they lose it again, they've got nothing to fall back on. But a double up will be ensued this time. Barbar and Cadian picking that up for the team. We saw Kali take a little bit after the loss of Draken for the few weeks when he was still on the roster, but honestly, when Barbar was second up, I think he did a lot more damage, and he will prove why. Takes down Draken, takes down the first AWPer of NiP, and Ada will follow up as well, taking down Forest. This is good damage so far here from the CT side, but they can't afford to overexpose, allowing players like Get Right to get these picks. 2 for him. Freddy drops another, but still, Epsilon are put down to a 3-on-2 when they had a double man advantage to start things off. Bombs in the center of the site. But look at the wrap from Epsilon, playing this perfectly, moving all in towards the CT spawn, where the flank comes out from Cadian.
Cadian's the man in this situation. Easy frag onto Exist. Now Get Right knows that there's players behind, and he has to watch pretty much every single angle at once. This is an absolutely horrible situation. Definitely a situation that, if there was a man to do it, he's been there in the past. But not this time. Rez will spot him out. Take him down. Another round for Epsilon, and this is starting to come back a little bit now. Not going to be a buy this time for NiP. Don't really have the money to invest. Can get some pistols at least, and although it's probably not the best thing, the fact that they're losing in streaks rather than just losing individual rounds, winning individual rounds, means that their economy isn't going to be reset. We are going to see a buy come in from Forest, but I think that's just based off some extra cash, and with 2,900 coming in the next round, likely he'll still need a bomb plant to be able to purchase. But going over towards that B site, it normally suggests the bomb plant is likely.
Plus, he can just buy up a UMP next round. They don't have too much pressure on him getting that AK in, even if this doesn't work out. But let's see how much he can get done. Surely, with only one player playing fairly close, and that's Rez, they should be able to get a bomb plant. One smoke down. They got Get Right on the molly for the post plant as well. And he could use that towards connector, yes, but I'd like to see that save for the bomb after the round. Either way, he's already down. Molly's got over to Freiburg, which is still going to be making its way towards the site with the bomb going planted on the default spot. Barbar doing 2 and exists. He just falls to his death, goes for a little jump, and leaves Freiburg alone, but Nade will raid on in. Epsilon pick up a 10th round flawlessly, and while they allow a bomb plant, they allow nothing more.
Yeah, and that was the thing about that AK investment. The whole point of it was sort of to do some damage, and it didn't really achieve anything. But with the bomb plant, as said, it means they can buy anyway. It'll mean the rest of the players get a boost, so we can see an AWP onto Draken. So, although the AK may not have had an impact, the round in general worked out fine for NiP. Now, still in a spot. They don't want to allow this streak to continue, as now the CT side begin to build up money. And not only money, they will start to feel more confident. And there's a lot of talented individuals on this team. And with confidence comes Cadian. He's going to be peeking out aggressively once again. Over towards the spot. Flash will come out, leave him in the corner. And this is where possibly some support from his teammates will be needed. They are actually going to pop Flash him back into the angle.
Oh, Barbar. Not a good way to start it off. The AWP for NiP getting dropped, and nade damage catching out 2 players of Ninjas in Pyjamas. At this point, Cadian can back off. There's no need for him to continue his aggression down Ivy, and yeah, he will. He falls onto CT. Good read there. No need for Epsilon to give up the man advantage, especially not after taking down Draken. Forrest retrieves the AWP. Very possible he can get damage done with that, yes, but even so, not the role that he's primarily playing, as now Ninjas in Pyjamas put in an awkward spot, the pick not going their way. With a 4-on-5, we have them backing up towards the A side of the map, maybe going for this late B split. Get Right's been a nuisance down towards this side of the map and pushing in and getting himself some free control. And the rest of him joining him, the rest of his team joining him, makes me think that they must be just going for a straight up B execute. They've got very limited utility, so this is exactly what they need to do.
I am surprised that we haven't seen a second player rotate over yet, especially when there's only 4 players on the other side. You normally see a second make their way over towards B. But Barber, in this connector spot last round, was able to do an awful lot of damage. Flash will come out. He's going to try and do a little bit of damage with utility, but there's that rotational stop, and Forrest will catch the player as he tries to go through. This leaves Rez alone on the site. He can't really afford to go down, as they want to play this as a 4 versus 4 retake. But they are at least denying the push forward for now. But here goes Freiburg. He's going to look to take control of this connector, stop anybody else getting through. A couple of players already in the site that he has to be a bit careful about. The rest of his team are going to be waiting, but the flash doesn't work. Freiburg lines them up, gets 2 for himself. Rez looking to try and do the same, and does. It goes straight back again. Now, the bomb ticking away. Rez has himself a kit. Cadian with the AWP, they've got to make their move. And Forrest going to be missing the shot, but he's just going to stop. No way you're getting that defused this time. Forrest will miss the second. Has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't lose his life. And he may just fall to the bomb. So damage again. So the CT's buying back up. We'll be able to have that chance to break. But a big round and a massive play from Freiburg.
That could have been terrible after that double kill from Rez. It could have fallen apart for NiP. But they're still alive, still kicking. First round on the board in the last 5. But again, it gives Epsilon the upset and reset potential. If they get back onto this one, they can clamp down on the economy and get themselves to 12. Very, very likely. And NiP limited by the AWP. 2 UMPs in play as well. And while the utility is good, firepower is a serious miss. They rely heavily on Draken to get those opening kills, especially on a map like Train, but Epsilon have their own AWP. Cadian sitting on that, as we can see. NiP holding very passive. Draken's just sitting over in main, just waiting for a bit of a push to come through. And the way that they're holding Ivy as well is just completely passive. They're playing anti-flash. Forrest waiting for some kind of flash to come through the smoke. Epsilon to bring some kind of aggression, but it won't be happening.
Counter nades thrown out from the CT side. Cadian, he's been very quiet in this game. His awakening could be the difference. Definitely a competent AWPer, but hasn't had luck so far. Freiburg going to be walking straight through, however, and that's going to be it. Atta gets a couple. Forrest looking for the trade. Will be able to find it. Looks for more, but Cadian this time is there. He's able to bring this down to 1. Draken to try and deny the reset. He's not going to be able to do it. And NiP, after winning a round, will lose one straight back. That was their biggest chance to just close this game out here and now, because you have to look at the money on the other side after that buy. It wasn't good, so NiP, they had the chance to almost get a round for free. They're going to call a pause for themselves. I don't blame them at this point after a streak and then a reset. This could be the line that leads Epsilon all the way back to taking this map. Still, a long, long way to go. It's not done as of yet. I'm interested to see what NiP do in this round. They'll only get 1900 without a bomb plant. It won't be the best buy they can get. Won't even allow for Draken to get an AWP with Kevlar. Unless they get a bomb plant. Now, that could suggest that they'll go for something aggressive towards B. I think most of the time we've only ever seen one player from Epsilon. That's Rez over on that site. And he hasn't been able to do that much in terms of stopping the bomb. It's mostly been retakes from Epsilon. So I'd actually like to see them just save this round and just rush out and try and get a plant.
Yeah, the minimum money that they will have on a player like Exist, for example, if they get the bomb plant, it's going to be 4,150. So, like, they will have the money if they can get that bomb plant. That's enough to buy up. And he's only on 1,400 right now. So, realistically, bomb plant, that could be perfect. But again, it's easier said than done. I think Epsilon are going to be aware of this, and they may even just try and counter it by contesting, playing close up on the site. While it does have its risks and obviously allows for these PT50s to get, you know, early kills, still, it can deny that bomb plant, but nothing invested by NiP. They're just going to stick with the full Glocks. And yeah, exactly what I agree with. I think a flashbang maybe, but it's not going to be too much of an issue. Smokes and Molotovs go down, but these guys just going to charge out, and Epsilon know what's up. They're just going to let them have the site, play for the retake, far safer. They can stop the plant in the bomb. That's just perfect. And Rez and Barbar will combine. Nothing found from NiP, not a point of damage. There will be a clean round with no bomb plant, so look at the money on players like Exist and get right. Yeah,
they really needed that plant, and I would even be privy to just them going for some Tech 9s in this round, but they're going to take a risk. Ooh. Buying back up, glass cannon AWP, a few rifles on board, and a Now this could, I think, probably what you're about to say, be the round that actually gives Epsilon a way back into the game. So
yeah, if they lose this,
is going to be interesting.
This is nail-biting stuff. If NiP lose this, we're seeing 14-14 before the buy, but Exist opens things up in the drop-down, takes down Freddy B. Good and opener, grabs himself a rifle now to play with, or at least he can. Sticks to the UMP. Now we see the aggression. The A side suddenly opened up like a can of worms. Freiburg and Draken both going to pick up a kill each, and Forrest will follow up. What's just happened for Epsilon? It seemed like a round that they shouldn't have thrown away, but NiP have just hit every single shot on the A site, not dropping a single man other than Draken. And now we're going to have to see Rez, in my opinion, just hold on to this gun. No real reason to contest. You're not going to do too much economical damage. NiP will still be able to buy up. And they're just playing safe. They're not giving away this round. Freiburg not taking that fight. No need to. Whittle down the time a little bit first. And Rez just needs to get out of here. Needs to hold on to this gun because they've got a bit of money to fall back on, but not a huge amount. Considering they're going to get 1,400 after this. If he holds onto this gun, he can throw a weapon over to Freddy B. And that's what's most important.
Yeah. Make sure they have the buy for the next round. The T's, they're not fussed about running after that gun. Their money's not that good themselves. They want to make sure that their buy is up to scratch. Forrest has managed to save an AWP for Draken as well, and considering they are two of the most impactful players in this game, that's why I do think that in terms of just sheer impact kills, we have to look at Freiburg. I think he has been probably the best player in the server in that extent. But now it's crunch time. Epsilon fighting for survival. They've gone for double orbs. Barber, impressive when he's had it in hand. Gonna try his best to make the difference he can. Now, A main. 3 players currently reside. 4th waiting outside. It's just gonna be a fast play, and this could work against the double orbs. Cadian running straight through the smoke. He gets one, which is more than he probably should have done. Barber able to trade one back, giving them the advantage for now, and actually Atta's found another. All going the way of Epsilon in this round, and what looked like a silly start will actually be the confirmation. They get, with 4 players staying alive, once again, if NiP want to buy into this round, it's going to have to be a risky one, or they can wait and try and go for one in the next, and I think that's why they've called this pause. It's such a big decision to make. They managed to get it working last time, but to rely on that, I feel is a little bit too much.
I do not want to see a buy here. Forrest doesn't have the money. They can get 4 weapons, couple of UMPs, couple of AKs, and then Forrest has to Tech 9 armor. I mean, in theory, that works, right? But they lose that. Not only do they have no loss bonus to fall back on because it's only up to 1900 after a loss, they also don't, have really much chance to close out the map, and they have to play OT. It should just be the eco here. And okay, Exist is going to buy up a rifle. They are going to be investing, it seems. I mean, if they can make it work, they can make it work. It's just so risky because if they lose this, they've got nothing to play with unless they get a bomb plant, and even so, they'll have 2800 max. So yeah, this is a big risk, big risk. But at least it gives them 2 attempts to fight for this instead of ecoing 1 away.
Oh, this could be going all the way. The thing is, the most likely situation here is either they win or it's OT. Like, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, but they'll have another chance. Yeah, but with pistols. And then it really is anyone's. And you look at the buy even in this round, and it just favors. I think they're just going to go for what looks like a fast play again. All of these nades being thrown in early. Maybe trying to bait out a little bit. They've got a few more to throw in just seconds later. There we go, Exist. Smoke will go out. Once again, it's going to be all these players pushing in onto the A site. First man out is going to be Draken, running, trying to get as close as he can. Spots out Atta, can't quite connect the shots. And again, it's just going backwards and forwards. Barber trying to fight this back alone. He's going to get himself a triple. Big plays in a big round, but Get Right can bring it back to a 2 versus 2.
Yorp still posted on Cadian. Dangerous weapon in this position. Exist is already very low. Only going to take a couple of bullets to find his demise. Cadian wrapping around for CT. It's there. Cadian hits the shot. Now it's all on to Exist. 26 points of health. No utility. A 1v2 is going to be needed. The only positive is he can play mind games. He can go absolutely anywhere he wants. The brains of NiP going to wrap back round towards the Ivy position. And Epsilon, they don't have a clue. Or if they do, they're playing it passive. They don't want to commit to anything. And I think at this point, Epsilon should be together. They should be grouped up. Play this one safe. Don't take 2 1v1s. Take a 1v2. As Exist, he's going to have free entrance through Ivy. He should be able to even get a bomb plant if he plants on the right side, as Rez isn't going to be aware. The only issue is he has 20 seconds to plant. He has to check all these angles in 20 seconds. And that's not doable. He just has to go for the YOLO plant right now.
Well, the thing is as well, now Cadian has cleared all of upper B. They know where this is going to be. All the information is gathered. Cadian actually misses what was a fairly easy shot by the looks of things. He's going to go down. This gives a chance. Rez knows he has to go for the plant. Herver going to go running straight out onto the site, and there's nothing that can be done. It's 15-14. Exist will die before the round at least, so he has some money to buy back in. But 15-14. It will be a buy coming up for Epsilon, of course, after winning the round, and it has to be an investment for the Ninjas, and they're going to throw in their last pause. I don't blame them. They're taking a pause after pretty much every single round they lose at the moment, and they've got to make a decision what they do here. They've tried these fast pushes, and it's risky because it's just so back and forward. It's who's hitting their shots in that exact round. In that round, it was Barber, sat at 32 and 18. On NiP, it has to be said, there's no slacker. The lowest player was 17, the top with 26, currently sat with Forest. But this is just ridiculously close, and one big play in the next round could be the difference between overtime and the Ninjas' survival.
This is unbelievable. You say NiP call a pause every single time they lose a round, and that's because all the rounds they're losing are huge risk rounds where they're forward spying. Sometimes, understandably so, you can't criticize the intent, but the execution isn't quite working out in their favor, and obviously they've got to put together what they can, pulling pennies from the sofa as they're left with just Tech 9s, Deagles, bit of armor and some utility to try and burst this A site. I can imagine they could just go for the fast B play, but Epsilon have been pretty good at shutting down these B sites. We say, oh, usually you can just charge B, get yourself a plant, but Epsilon not only have been great on retakes, but also on anti-eco rounds have been completely disallowing bomb plants, just playing mid-range of the rifles and just completely mowing down NiP. So now going into this round, I can only expect OT to be apparent. After NiP had a phenomenal first half, a 9-6 on the CT side, which they converted to a 12-6 after winning the first 3, this is fallen apart.
They've managed to... what, the last 10?
10, yeah, last 10.
They've now got probably the worst buy they've had so far to convert the last. Get Right hasn't yet got a gun. I wouldn't be surprised to see him buy an UMP, but then again, that would deny him any utility. And a lot of their takes so far have come down to their smokes. They've been throwing in a lot of utility at the beginning of these rounds, trying to play fast, but at least smoking off a lot of the players. He will go for the imp, get a couple of flashes behind it, but this is crunch time. Will they actually throw away a 12-6 lead? Go into overtime. They are setting up once again. A couple of players breaking those windows. Gonna look to take some top control and may just be trying this once more. Second player will rotate in the form of Cadian over towards his B site just in case, but you look at the position of the bomb. The players lining up their smokes. I think the NiP might be able to hit this A site just one more time.
All onto the timing. NiP just holding fast for the time being, waiting for Epsilon to make the first move. If over-aggression is going to come through, NiP will exploit it. They start to throw a bit of utility down inside of the B halls, just to throw a bit of a fake. Make Epsilon second guess exactly what's going on here, but the full smokes over on A will make it very, very clear where they're going to be committing. They will set them up now. Time is ticking away. 50 seconds remaining. NiP could be fighting for their lives in overtime if they don't pick up this round, but they've got to hurry up and do their best now. Smokes are down. They're going to start to commit, pushing out onto the A site. There's Barbar close. Freddy B in the heavens, and he will do good damage. Get the tag down as well as Exist, and the bomb only just going to make its way out of A, but Exist finds first blood. Freddy B very tagged as well, and NiP have done good damage, but Cadian will draw it back.
Back into this 4v4 situation. The bomb is planted. Forest going to be able to get one more. Freddy B being low could make things interesting as well for the CT side. They've got time to play with. He's going to get dinked, but will survive just about. A lot of low players at the moment. Get right, well positioned. Molotov will actually force him back, and Cadian's the one with full HP. Will switch over to the rifle, takes him down. It's all onto Draken with the Deagle. Both remaining players are low on HP. He's going to look for the first. Can't quite find Rez, but he will get the second at least. Rez pushing back in. It's his old teammate to try and knock them out of the tournament. Rez going for the defuse, and Draken will take it. He's knocked out Epsilon. His old team are gone. And the way that it is done is in ridiculous fashion. Draken just able to hold on to it. The hearts of the NiP fans, they must be everywhere at the moment because they've just about survived. They'll live to fight one more day at least. But my God, was it close.
That was almost the biggest nip slip since my 2016 holiday photos. What an incredible game for Draken to close out as well in style. As you say, the storylines beating his old team, just phenomenal. And NiP, as you say, got to be going for another day. We'll be back tomorrow, obviously playing their matches to try and get out of this Swiss format. They're not done. They've got to win 2 more if they want to qualify for the European minor. This is a huge amount of pressure on Ninjas in Pajamas, but Epsilon, they are gone. They're going to be going home with absolutely nothing. No chance to qualify for the Krakow Major this year. But what a way to end the night, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. That is the last game of the day that I know of. I think after something like that, I may even have to promise that we'll come back tomorrow because that was just absolutely incredible. For anybody wanting to know what we are going to be casting, at least over on the Starladder channel, you can check out our Twitters by typing !casters. Obviously, if you have any suggestions for games, I know that they'll be announcing them probably relatively soon. Make sure you tell us because, well, we have free roam of the choice by the looks of things. Anyway, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thoroughly enjoyed casting these games today. And, well, see you tomorrow.